Hey everybody, it's Brian Lohmes with the NHRA on Fox, back again to learn where one of our high-profile racers got her start in the world of drag racing. Yes, it is what was your first race car, and today we're talking to East Region Top Alcohol Dragster champ Jackie Frick. Finished fourth in the world last year, won the JEGS All-Stars last year, had a heck of a year. But Jackie, where did it all begin?
It all began with me convincing my sister Barb to let me borrow her street Grand Prix to run Street Eliminator at Maple Grove Raceway.
Now, is this something that your mom and dad knew about? Because we've had racers on here before that said they were kind of sneaking to the racetrack. And I know you grew up in a racing family, so I'm guessing everybody signed off on this.
Not my mom. My mother told me if I ever went down the racetrack, her and my father would get divorced. And I was like, that's a lot to carry for somebody. That doesn't seem fair. So then the people at Maple Grove all knew my family. We were, very, very tight-knit. And when it came time to get my license, the woman who ran the track called my mother and said, "Are you okay with this?" And I thought my cover was completely blown. And luckily, my mom signed off on it.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, what did you get your license in?
I got my license in my father's altered, S&W altered, and he told me I was racing Street Eliminator and I was going into the final at Cecil County Dragway. And he told me, if you win the final, you can get your license the next week. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of pressure.
I was going to say, your mom and dad like to lay it on you here.
Yeah, definitely. I lost the final. He caved in, I think, because I bugged him so much, and let me get my license anyway, much to my mother's displeasure. And still to this day, we have a family group chat. And last week, I was fortunate enough to go almost 281 miles an hour at Bradenton. And my mother's emoji on the thing was this.
So you get your license in your dad's altered. Now, did you race that car or did you get some yourself? I mean, what are the steps between the altered and you getting in what is now a 281 or 280 mile an hour A-fuel dragster?
That's kind of a funny one because my father told me, you have your license, now go get a good job because racing's expensive. And then he was right. And I was fortunate in the interim to work at S&W Race Cars. And I have a picture of the car that Scott Wenny let me race. And that car was awesome.
Cool.
It was a short wheelbase 850 Roadster. And I spent a lot of time at S&W. He let me make a lot of the parts on the car. He taught me how to weld. I have been fortunate throughout all of my racing to have a lot of people that were super patient with me and taught me a ton about the sport.
That's spectacular. So the 850 car, you get comfortable in this thing. It's really kind of a car you really cut your teeth on. And is the next step an alcohol dragster?
No, I bracket raced. My whole family's a bunch of bracket racers. Nobody knows where the going fast thing came from for me, but I also have a picture somewhere on this desk that I drew when I was 6 years old, and it was a Top Alcohol dragster. So that was always where I wanted to be. And in 2007, I teamed up with Tom Jones, and he was, again, super patient, taught me a ton. And that's how I started in a blown alcohol dragster. But between 1992, I saved up enough money to buy my first dragster, progressed throughout nicer and faster dragsters. The last one that I had before I went to alcohol was my husband. I told him I really wanted to run top dragster, and he knew nothing about nitrous. He learned it all for me and built me a nitrous motor that was pretty cool and could run in top dragster.
That's spectacular, and obviously your progression through the Top Alcohol Dragster ranks and your team's progression has been great over the last few years. At number 4 finish in the world last year, another East Region title for your team, and the performance that you've had in preseason testing all leads me to one question. Is this a World Championship caliber car?
I really hope so. We're a team that always, in the beginning of the year, we plan out our races where we think we can have the most fun. We try not to do strategy or anything like that. Keep it fun, and our team is we don't lack any fun at the racetrack. We always enjoy ourselves, and but we've been seriously working over the last 3 years. John has put in everything he possibly could. I'm hoping this is the year.
Well, you certainly have a contending car. It's going to be fun to watch you and a very talented field of top alcohol dragster competitors really across the country, which is great. We have great racers on the West Coast, great racers on the East Coast, and of course a bunch of great cars in the center of the country that all tend to battle their way to these tight points finishes at the end of the year. Jackie, thanks for sharing your story with us. Again, we love these stories because it's a path. It shows people that there is a way. You don't just start at the top. You don't start going 280 miles an hour. You start in your sister's car, which is great.
1650s, and you can do it at your local drag strip. And I encourage any young people out there who want to get involved in the sport to definitely take part.
Amen. Good luck this season, Jackie, as you go after a Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series World Championship and another regional championship on the East Coast. And I look forward to seeing you, of course, at some point across the country this year.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
Jackie has had a great career, will continue to have a great career, as will our other racers coming in this series of stories where we find out people's roots in the sport of NHRA drag racing. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.